Hello, my name is Mike Stevens, certified RV technician here at Lazydays, and today I'd like to go over annual maintenance of your RV. Most things will be for both motorized and towable, so hopefully I can give you a few tips that'll help you out. First, we're going to take a look at all your sealant, making sure that everything's good across the board. As you see here, there's a small gap. Something like this can cause some very expensive failures in the future, so it's very important that all of this gets addressed. We're also going to look at all your slide seals, ensuring that they're pliable, they're not stuck, and there's no debris in them. That does go well with your tracks and making sure that everything is well lubricated. As you walk around your coach, you're going to see several things that are going to be important to take care of. Inside your water bay, you do have all of your drain plugs, your water connections, ensuring there's no leakage. And when you pop your cap off, there should never be water dripping out. If there is, that's a sure sign that something's leaking and it does need to be addressed. Now this is a new model. Ladder's nice and sturdy. As it does get older, your screws start to loosen up. Those are things that you wouldn't normally think of until you go to get on the roof and you have some issues. On this particular motorhome, we come across your appliances. Appliances manufacturers do recommend yearly maintenance, and it really is important. Not only does debris get in these open holes, but also insects. They like to build homes in those warm places. If you're up north, you get mice in there. If you're down south, you get lots of bugs and other critters that like to live in there. Spiders love the smell of propane. These do need to be opened up annually, inspected, making sure that there's no issues. Your furnace does come apart, but that's something that you may want to leave to the professionals so that everything continues to work properly for you. One of the main appliances we want to take a look at is our refrigerator. When we open the access to our refrigerator, it's important again to look for all those spiders or other little insects that might have made a home in here, and to make sure that all of this is clean. Now in this particular model, you don't want to be accessing the burn chamber. Leave that to the professionals, but make sure that this is just all cleaned out and that there isn't anything growing in there. Now some coaches do have an outside entertainment system. Just make sure that your seals are always good so that no water is getting inside. If you do see some signs of water, it is something that does want to get addressed. Your speakers are marine grade, they're going to hold up to the water. Your television is not, and that can have some issues. Something as simple as your steps, you want to keep those lubricated so that they're always moving in and out nice and easy for you. One other thing, if you haven't noticed, that the whole coach is lifted and level right now. A good shot on the jacks is this one here. It's almost fully extended. These particular jacks are designed to lift the coach. Some jacks on motorhomes are not, so it is very important to look at your owner's manual to determine whether they are stabilizing only or if they are designed to actually lift the jack to level them. There is a jack service that is recommended every year, and it is important to get that done. What you will find is those jacks start moving a lot slower than when they were originally new. Always take a look at your tires, looking for cutouts, any debris that might be in there, any holes. It is very important. There is also an 8-year recommendation. If it happens to go over 8 years old, that is something you do want to address. The last thing you want is a blowout going down the road. Inside your engine, whether it be gas or diesel, it is important to do your yearly maintenance. Don't look at your mileage unless you are a high mileage driver. If you are a high mileage driver, it is important that whatever you happen to be driving, follow those recommendations. But for your north-south drivers and your routine campers, it is important that once a year that does get done. Now, as we walked around, we looked at all our seals, our slide room seals. It's also important to look at the seals around the windows. Over time, they naturally they will shrink. It's something that just happens in the rubber. But once those do shrink, it's important to get those replaced and resealed so that you don't have any water penetration. Once up inside your coach, it's just like looking around the outside. Take a look around your coach, look at the different things that move. This particular coach has a bunk over the driver and passenger seat that will go up and down. It's important to maintain the lubrication in these per manufacturer specs. And please look at those. They're all different. Some have oil, some have grease. It's important to take care of them properly. You'll also be looking at your slide rooms. Ensure that along through here that everything is fitting tightly. If that starts to move, there's an adjustment out of place, and it really is important to get that taken care of. Your window blinds. One thing that's quite often happens is these become loose. Make sure they get tightened up before they get too bad. Once they get wallered out, there's no fixing them again, or you have to move them. So stay on top of your little things that you would think are, oh, it's just basic, it's not a big deal. It will become a big deal. So get that taken care of right away. We also have several appliances inside. Just like outside we do the maintenance, we need to do the maintenance inside as well. Keeping your seals clean. If you maintain them normally before each camping trip, you won't have an issue with mold or anything else growing in them. It's also important if you store your coach, keep the door slightly open. It allows the airflow to get in there, and it keeps things from smelling real bad. Most stoves aren't usually an issue. We don't have a lot of campers that love to use their stove, but if you do, make sure it stays clean just like you would at home. Once that builds up, it's a lot harder to take care of. And one area that you don't see taken care of very often also is inside your stove. This does come apart. And it's important to keep this area clean. Just like outside, spiders, little insects, they love to live in that propane area, and you do get a lot of debris from little grease droppings or other things from cooking on there. So once in a while, just pick this up and clean that out. This is a drop-in sink. Keep an eye on the sealant here around the corner. That tells you two things. One is that it stays sealed and you don't have water dripping inside the cabinets. But also it's important to do that because every once in a while the brackets that hold this up can start to fail. So if you see a gap there, have it addressed immediately. Don't let it get too bad or the sink can fall. So it is very important to take care of that. Back here we have the shower, bathroom. Treat it just like you would at home. Keep it clean, keep it well working. One thing with your toilet, it is important to check around the base and make sure that there's no leaking, there's no water, you won't have any issues with that. Most beds, this particular one has no storage, but what you do want to look at is you want to ensure that these strips are not cut or frayed there and there, because what will happen is over time those frays will get bad and they'll start to catch the bed and prevent your slide room from working properly. And inside, especially for you Floridians, the air conditioner is always extremely important to keep an eye on. This particular one has ductwork, so you simply just have your outputs here, make sure they're clean from debris, but more importantly, look at the head unit in the ceiling and make sure that the filters are changed at least annually, if not every couple of months, depending on how much you use it. So hopefully you've gotten a couple of tips and I was able to help you go through a couple of things on your motorhome. Here at Lazydays, we do have some annual packages that work out perfectly for us if it's something that you don't feel comfortable doing yourself. But we'd love to help you out, and if there's anything that we can do for you, please give us a call.